Oh, there we are. Yeah,
But,
there's a light at the top now, so
yeah, okay, super.
yeah.
Okay, so my guest today is Terri, and Terri has been a psychic medium for over 20 years. Yes, I know she looks 20, but she's actually
Oh
been a
no,
psychic
don't.
medium.
You want to see me close up, Mina?
She's been a psychic medium for over 20 years. And the thing with Terri is not only has she got her own oracle card deck, which she's going to allow us to have a little peep at the end, she's actually part of a circle where they do physical mediumship, so things that go bump. So she's going to tell us all about that. But before she does that, let's just have a little talk about what an actual circle is and what they do at a circle. So Terri, so
Hi
you've been
there.
part of
Hi.
this circle for a long time.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I mean, we done this. We first started this circle. I mean, I've been to other circles previously throughout the years, but this one we started it about 12 years ago. And basically, like a normal home circle would be just like just a development circle. So just a group of like-minded people all getting together to connect with spirit. We just sit there, we'll do some psychic games together, we'll meditate together, like, and then we'll do readings with each other, just anything that as long as you're sitting together once a week, harmonizing your energies, and just doing that, that's enough. And then year after year it just becomes routine. You just blend more with everyone. It's just so much better. And then it went physical about 5 years ago. So there is a lot that's gone on. I won't fit it all in one session. But yeah.
So no, that's fine. Well, we might have to have you
Yeah.
back by demand if that happens to be the
Oh, I
case.
don't know.
So in the
Yeah.
development circle, so a development circle is different from the physical circle. I'm just checking with you that
Yeah.
I've got this right. So in the development circle, what that allows you to do is it develops your psychic powers, your mediumship powers, and it enables all of you to connect with spirit and
Yeah.
then give messages to each other. So you can all give messages from each other. And obviously, if you're all meeting together, it
Yeah.
means that you're creating a kind of harmony between you. There's trust and there's
Oh,
a good way.
100%. Yeah, yeah. I mean, like with a normal development circle, we just sit there on the sofa, the lights are on, and we'll have a cup of tea and we have a meditation. And like you said, we do psychic readings. We've done things before, like we'll have coloured ribbons, like red, yellow, blue, things like that. And then everyone will have to sort of tune in and find out which one's holding the colour. So it's all good to build up your psychic awareness. And we'll do like cards. We'll have some cards that'll have like a circle, an X, a triangle, so like things like that. So, and then you'll turn them over, and then you'll have to know which one is the circle or which one is the X, kind of thing. So it's all good for building up the psychic mind of things. And what other things did we do? But yeah, and then just tuning in with spirit. But yeah, the meditations were key as well. We would do a lot of meditating together. So yeah.
And when we say spirit, we're talking about
Our
um,
guides.
people that have, yeah, people that
Mm.
have lived Earth lives and now they're living in the spirit realms and they come to communicate with human beings to help us help.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. It's been like 12 years. So I mean, there's been loads of instances where we've tuned in with people that have crossed over. Like not me, like mainly like other group members. I won't say who they are, because the other ones, they don't want to be
Mentioned,
known. It's
yeah,
more
no, that's fine. Yeah,
privacy. So I respect their privacy.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they're quite good. So they'll talk about someone, and they'll be like, oh yeah, that's true, that's right. So using with their mediumship and that. So, and it just makes it stronger over
Yeah.
time.
And they
Yeah.
get messages that help them with things that they don't know, or give answers in their life, or maybe
Yeah.
let them know how their loved ones that have passed on are doing, that kind of thing.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, yeah. And we'll do lots of tarot card readings and things like that. So yeah, we always do readings, and the oracle as well. But I'll talk about about the oracle.
We'll talk about the oracle later. Okay. So
Yeah.
what made you, how did it happen that you went from the ordinary circle into this circle where there was now physical mediumship going on?
Well, it's funny because I've always wanted to be a part of a physical circle, and that was always my aim, was to get to be physical. And then once, I think one time we had this idea, I can't remember who thought of it, but one of us said, instead of just doing the same thing that we do with every circle, why don't we each take turns? So each of us will say, right, I want to do this, and they'll bring in like a scrying mirror and do some scrying on the scrying mirror or something like that. Everyone had their turn to do something that they wanted to do, just so that we could sort of like shake things up, do things a bit differently. So when it was my turn, I was like, oh, I want to sit around the table. I want to sit, because you know, it's round a friend's house, and you know, he's got this large, very large round wooden table. So it was like, right, let's all sit around the table, turn the lights off, and just sit there in the dark. We did have a little candle light though. We did have a little candle, and we were just sitting there, and
Some people might wonder. Some people might wonder why you sit in the dark. Why would you be sitting in the dark?
So when it comes to things like physical phenomena, well, I didn't want to say that, and I thought we're going to come out right. But yeah, when you're sitting in the dark, it's just easier for them to draw the energy from you. I think when the light's on you, because they have to draw energy from us, so when the lights are low and it's dark, they can just kind of extract it easier. Do you know what I mean? So they can take the energy. I mean, they have done things with the lights on before, but that was only because they had like excess energy left over, basically, and they could do that. So it all depends. If they've got enough energy, then it's fine. We can have the lights on, because we've had like now we do lots of readings around the table, and we have the lights fully on, and they'll knock on the table to let us know if we've got the reading right or not. So we do sort of do the readings with them, but they've got excess energy, so they don't need the lights off. But I mean, yeah, when you're starting up, you do need the lights.
It's just helpful for them. It's just helpful for them, basically. They can work with you more because there's no light that's interfering with that energy transfer.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So it sounds like before you actually could even do all that all of you are, you know each other, you're meeting regularly. It's a closed circle, so you don't have new people come in. So you're all getting familiar with each other, and you're kind of harmonizing, and that helps with the energy as well, I'm assuming.
Oh, it doesn't just help. I mean, it's paramount that the energy has to be completely harmonized with everyone in the group. I mean, at the moment, there's 4 of us. We did have 5, 6, I think, and a few. I think there was another person that we had very early on, and some people weren't coming. But then what happened was, when it turned physical, they wanted the people that were just there at that time, and then as things got more physical, it was like, right, we need to close the circle to keep the energy right. So any other different energies that were coming and going, it wouldn't be no good to them. They need the energies that are going to be there week after week and be consistent, you know, and yes, that's what it is really. As long as you have to all connect, all be in harmony, completely and 100% trust each other, and just have a good time as well. Just be relaxed, lay back with each other. But as long as you're all in harmony and you've got that love there, then that connection that's what they want. That's their like little cherry on the cake for them, because that's what they need. If there's something that's not right, then they'll either remove, or it will be until they've got it their way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. So do you want to tell us about some of the things that have been happening in your circle?
Yeah, I mean, so I did write down some notes, because there's so much has gone on. I mean, I'll start at the beginning. Like the beginning, we just had taps on the table, and it was like, oh, who's doing that? Who's doing that? Who's tapping? And then we realised that we could ask questions and things like that. So then the next time we got round the table, we instead of sitting on the sofa like we usually did with our usual, like that's what we usually did with our normal circle, we was like, oh no, let's go back to the table again, because that was where things were happening. So again, we sat back at the table, turned the lights off. Then the knocks would get louder, and it was just letting them know we was getting very clear knocks. It'd always be a very clear 1 knock for yes, 2 knocks for no, three knocks for maybe. But obviously, you know, because we've got some very good mediums in our group, so we're also to pick up who we're working with as well. So that was good as well. And then they'll let us know if we've got it right and correct and things like that. And then what we found out was that we was actually working, the main person that we was working with, a lady, she's a Victorian lady called Rose, and it's kind of like a bit of a spiritual school. Like she'll bring in groups of people, and or groups of spirits. She'll bring in groups of spirits, and they'll work around the table for about 7 to 8 weeks at a time, and they'll be learning things, but we'll be learning as well. So they're learning, we're learning, and each time a group of spirit gets on the table, they don't see us, they can't see us. Most of them can only hear us, but the longer that they're working with us, then they can actually interact more with us. And then then they can see us more, and we're like, oh, can you see us now? And then we get the yes to confirm that they can see us now, whereas some of them might not still be able to see us. But yeah, as the weeks go on, and once they've done their fully 7 weeks around the table, the group will leave, and they would have done something like picked up something, touched us, and fully able to get to see us. So yeah.
So you have them touching you as well?
Yeah, I mean, the first time it happened, it was just they were so soft. Because I know some people might think, oh my, you know, we'll get into that later, but
quite scared, yeah.
yeah. It was just one finger, just very lightly on the hand. That was all it was, just very lightly, and they went round to each of us, and we was, oh, did you feel that? Did you feel that? Someone just touched my hand, and was like, oh yeah. And then once they knew we was okay, it would build up, and then we'd get a hand, so it'd be a whole hand would touch our hand, and it would do the same to us all. And then eventually they would come behind us and stroke our hair, and yeah, I mean, and then get to the point where we've shook their hands as well. And it's amazing, because their skin is just like shaking anyone's hand. It's no different. It's not like an energy. It's not a tingling sensation. It's a solid hand. The only thing I would say is that they're usually very hot for some reason, and we had to find out. I was like, I really want to know why they're always really, because really, usually, like when they touch you, it's so hot you'd think that person would have a raging temperature. That's how hot they feel. But they said they do that so that not to scare us, because they don't want to cut it. They could come through and just touch us and they'd be freezing cold, but they can actually regulate their temperature. I don't know how they do that, but they do that. They can regulate their temperature so that when they do touch us, it's going to feel natural. And although it is quite hot, but yeah, but I mean, yes, so many things has happened, but
yeah,
I'll let
so
you.
It's not just shaking hands, is it? They've been bringing objects.
Oh yeah, they'll bring in. Then they started bringing in objects. Once they brought in these flowers, it was like, the only way I'll describe them is like something exotic, because it was like really quite large, and it was just put on the table, and we was all feeling it, was all touching it, and was going like that with the, like, you could feel the leaves, and then you could feel the petals. So we all agreed, it was like, oh, this is definitely some sort of exotic flowers. And then the next minute we go back and it's completely gone, and they've taken it. And then we'll have a little discussion with them after, and was like, oh, did you bring the flowers? Yes, they brought flowers in. They've brought other objects in before. I can't remember what it was, but they have brought other things in before that we usually feel. And then it's like they want us to work out what it is, and then they'll take it away and things like that. But yeah, I mean, they love picking up the table as well. Sometimes you'll just get groups that love nothing more than just to learning how to pick up the table. Quite a funny moment we had actually was once. I mean, it's a very, very heavy table, and they lifted it up very high. It went right up, then it come back down again, and they wanted to put it on its side. So then they turned it on its side, but they couldn't turn it back again. So what happened? The table was on its side and it started shaking like mad. And we went, they're laughing because they don't know how to put the table back again. And then they knocked to say, yeah, so they needed help for us to put the table. Well, I can't remember. I think they might have done it themselves. But yeah, so it was like they got in a bit of trouble. They'd got a bit too, you know, too confident with the table. Yeah, and we have another spirit. He's part of our spirit team. He's called Cyril, and he loves the 50s music. He's from the 40s, but he loves all like 40s music, and especially the high energy ones. There's one that's called Like That There by Bette Midler, I think. Just Like That. Yeah, that's it. Just Like That, the song's called. And as soon as we play that, the table is just going absolutely. It's just amazing. It just dances around and shakes and goes up and down. And it's when it's funny because when the table's gyrating, I feel like I can see him in my head doing the movement because, you know, he's doing the song. We've got another girl called Grace. I mean, I could go into all these, but it would take so long to tell you about how we met them. And because each one we get, we have to find out about them, and it can take about a whole month not a whole month, it's about 3 weeks.
But it sounds like you develop just like we would do here. You meet somebody new here, another human. You develop a relationship, don't you? You're just not automatically friends or
oh my god,
partners or anything. So it sounds 100%. Like you're developing that relationship with them in the time that you spend with them.
I mean, not with every single group, but there's ones that are stayed that are actually a part of the group on a permanent basis. Like they stay with Rose and they help guide in other groups that are coming to work with us. So that's what we call our spirit team. And there's about, I'd say about 6 or 7 of them, and obviously including our guides as well. The guides are protecting the circle at all times. But yeah, I mean, Grace, she loves to dance, and she comes in and we hear her, but well, so does Cyril actually. They both like dancing, and you'll hear their boots on the carpet gyrating away with the music. So they all have their music that they like. They love Joyful. I mean, I think it's Joyful. It's from I can't remember what film it's from now.
The Sister Act film.
Sister Act film. Yeah, it's from Sister Act film. Oh, and Papa. Oh God, Papa. They love Papa. Oliver Twist. So we all know every single word to Papa. I'll probably have that on my gravestone. I think I might have to get a tattoo of Papa on me somewhere because like it's just so engraved into my brain. But they love it. Because when it first started, we had a lot of Victorian spirits coming in, and they were trying lots of different things and doing lots of stuff and touching us. But they'd stand next to us and would feel their clothing, like their clothing would come next to us. I remember once we had a dog there, like not a spirit dog, our dog, and I put my hand down to stroke the dog, and I stroked a hand. But it was Rose's hand that I stroked, and she laughed. She was like, yeah, that was my hand. She was stroking the dog. She must have known that I was going to put my hand there and stroke the dog. But yeah, and the dogs are fine. They don't mind it.
No, they probably love it, don't they? Because it sounds like it's a very high energy, a very loving, harmonizing energy. So I'll bet the animals love it even more than the humans, probably.
Yeah, I mean, they don't stop it at all. I mean, it's wonderful. We'll just have to we just stay in that. As long as we stay in that like high spirited state, we listen to the good music. We can't let anything get us onto a negative vibration. It's like with Rose, because she was we found out a lot about Rose. She's from the Victorian times. She lived in East End, in East London, and one of the things I was like, Jack the Ripper thing, you know, I was like, I'd like to find out about that. And it was like, no, not going on to that got shut down completely. And then we had to find out we can't talk about things. We're not going to talk about things that are negative, that are anything horrific, because then it could draw in something, and then they've got to get rid of it. So they just want to keep it how it is. Like, we've got that bridge connected with them, and this is how we see it with them. It's like a bridge, and it's connected. Each little step is connected with like love, harmony, and trust. If any of them things break down, the bridge will break down and collapse. So, you know, that was my ring knocking then. Yeah.
Yeah, that's that was you knocking.
Yeah, that was my ring knocking then.
We might ask them to do some knocking later on for us if they're willing. It sounds like a really lovely, loving energy, because I was just thinking while you were talking then about the way it was represented. It doesn't seem to be much on the radar these days, mediumship and mediumship circles. It seems to be quite, you know, like it's not being publicized, or it's not in the media. But if you think back to those pictures that they had of Victorian times, they called them seances, didn't they? And they were all sat around the table.
That's what it is,
and it all looked
very
and it all looked very serious and maybe a bit scary, from you know, those images that we see in those days and the ideas that we've got. I think when we think about it, we might remember those images and then get a little bit frightened. But the way you've been talking about it, it sounds like there's kind of no tolerance for anything dark, or
there's no tolerance for that.
Negative entities or anything like that. And that you all have a personal relationship with your guides. They're always present there with you. All of you are really loving with each other. You're familiar to each other, and as the circle is closed, you're not bringing in new energy. So the energy that's there is stable, and then you're all lifting your energy all the time through meditation, through laughter, through having fun, to give that kind of high energy so that they can come in and do their work. And it sounds like they also are bringing in high level energy, so that it all works and they can do the physical mediumship with you.
Yeah, I mean, they've made it clear to us that the only reason why we're doing this is because we have got that connection with our guides. If none of us had a good connection with the guides, and we didn't know their names, or we didn't know, then it wouldn't be able to have gone physical, because you need that connection with the guides so that they can be drawn in and protect the circle. Because we're always, they remind us all the time that we do have to be careful, because it being a physical circle, it can attract things that you don't want in there. So you have to be careful to really keep that away. And if people are doing it and they don't know what they're doing, or they haven't got a connection with their guides, and they just want to think, oh, you know, just do a seance, it'd be fun, then something dodgy could happen to them. You know,
I mean, like dark entities, negative entities could
especially young people. I mean, oh God, I did it when I was younger. I was like the Ouija board queen when I was growing up. But yeah, they won't they won't let us touch a Ouija board. You know, it's like no. Even at the circle, even fully protected, they will not let us even open up a Ouija board, because it would just give us problems, and they don't need that. We've got that.
The light suddenly went bright just as you said that. As soon as you said that they won't let us, the light suddenly changed. It just went instantly bright as you said that.
Oh. It's like, she's not allowed to do that.
yeah, because it's traditionally known, isn't it? I'll let you tell us about Ouija boards. It's
I mean, well, I did Ouija boards when I was younger, and bad things did come through. They would come through. So I do understand about that, and I think, but yeah, I mean, because I've got like children, so like getting to teenage years now, but they don't even like us talking about it around the children, because they don't want them to have ideas and think, oh, we could sit around a table and we could call on spirits, because if they did that, they're not gonna, they haven't got that they
don't have the knowledge, do they?
They don't have that knowledge, and that you know, that they haven't connected properly with guides and things like that, so it would just
they don't know
be a bit of a mess.
That's brilliant that they
protect
think that much of the children, that they protect the children and make sure the children are not indulging.
They wouldn't even let me do, I think it was this Halloween, I wanted to sew some little like voodoo doll things, but they're not bad ones. I was going to write loving quotes in them, like, oh, you know, you are radiant, you are beautiful, you know, like things coming from a good
You was going to put positive message
you
on
know
them.
but they still wanted me to get rid of them. They said, no, you still need to get rid of them because it's come from that source of voodoo, like dolls. Do you know what I mean? So even though you've got a good, like, you know, you're thinking on, yeah, a good, yeah, that's the word. Even though you've got good intentions, it still comes from voodoo, and they don't want even that energy being opened up because it could get switched around and used for something. So they're very, very, yeah, they do protect the circle, and that's why it's closed, because they won't let anyone come in yet to sort of like disrupt what we've got. You know, like I said, the bridge, all we know is that the bridge that we have connected is very delicate, and it has broken down sometimes. There's sometimes when we've done a few things that we weren't meant to do.
Can you tell us, like, what, for example?
Oh, excuse me. Okay, so I used to do EVPs as well, but this was before the circle went physical. I used to do EVPs.
I don't know what EVP is.
Oh, sorry. So the EVPs is electronic voice phenomena, and you can hear it on your phone. And basically, they was like, no, we don't want you doing that no more, because it's like the same thing as doing a Ouija board. So don't do that. And I thought, oh, I'll have a little go. I'll just, you know, do it a few more. And they they didn't like that. They didn't like me doing it, and they shut the circle down for about 7 weeks. And then when we found out it was because of me, it was like, because I was still doing these, and it was like, it was kind of like, why are you doing that? We've got this circle up and running. You don't need to do that, so don't do that, you know. Yeah, but we can do it in the circle. Like, if we're actually protected, we have done some EVPs before at the circle, and I've got some as evidence that I could always send one day, just to, you know. But I wouldn't. It's not something that I would obviously want people to go home and do, because it can bring in bad things. If you're sitting at home and someone was going to do that at home, then yeah, you don't know what they're letting in. So
attract the wrong kinds of energy, I suppose.
Yeah, you might not even be meaning to it, but it can happen. So, you know, this is what we've learned with this circle, is we have to be so careful to protect our energy. I mean, they want us to sage. We have to sage literally every time we do a circle. They want us to sage our home. So we're always on it to sage our home, sage ourselves, because the circles has become very physical. They want us to. They said it makes us kind of brighter, kind of thing, like our
like
aura.
Purifying, isn't it? That's what it does. It purifies your energy, the energy around you. So yeah,
they said it makes you be seen more, basically, by things that they don't want us to be seen by. So we have to take that in full and be more careful, really. But yeah, so I'm like quite a good girl with that now. I don't do any Ouija boards or EVPs. It's just oh, and seances as well, that we're not allowed to do seances anywhere else, because again, that can affect our energy. We have to just keep it just purely for the circle.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. And have you had any other phenomena, like sheets or other materials turning up in the circle?
Yeah. So I'll talk about the tug of war that we play. So we had this huge tablecloth on the circle, and one group we had, I can't remember what group it started it off, but they kept pulling the tablecloth and then chucking it over our heads, and then one would be thrown over one of our heads, and we'd all just laugh. Like, we've never. It's funny, because if we were allowed to film it, like, all you would see was us actually just laughing and laughing and laughing, whereas people would think it was probably looks scary, but to us we have such a great time. But yeah, they throw it over our heads. So once we was like, right, next time they pick it, we're gonna hold the tablecloth really tight, so they can't take it, right? So we was like, right, everyone's got a piece of tablecloth, hold it. And then that became a game of tug of war, and they were tugging it, we was getting pulled across the table, and they always won in the end. They always threw it off. I even had one of them, I think I was the last one to hold it, and I was holding it and I'm going like that. And in the end, one of them, I think it was a girl, she come behind me and she was tickled me under my arms, and then that was it. I dropped it. So I reckon my guide must have said tickle her under the arms because that'll make her drop the tablecloth. But
So the spirit people can even tickle you as well.
Oh God, yeah, they've tickled me under the arms. I remember once it was a Halloween as well, and we kept saying to them, we was going, "Oh, please just play with us for Halloween. Please do stuff for us." I know, And I was sitting there, and I felt these these hands grab my legs right from underneath the table, and I've gone, ah! But I knew that they were playing because we asked them to play with us because it was Halloween. So
yeah, you knew you were safe. They weren't.
And we're safe, you know what I mean? I had hands go like that, like, on my shoulder, and they love getting the paper trumpet. It's funny because we made a trumpet, like thinking that they're going to talk through it, but they don't. They like to whack it around our heads, go around the table, whack it around our heads. And once two of the members were sitting next to each other, and I think it was these two children we had actually, we got to know. And they would get the trumpet and it was going bang, 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 bang against their heads, like just non-stop. And then what they did is we saw the trumpet then, after it was banging them over the heads of it, like obviously playing, then we saw it go like that. And it went right in front of the portal, like as if they were showing everyone what they can do with the. And then we asked them after, and we went, "Oh, you showing everyone?" Like, because they have like these spectators as well. And they was going, yeah, we're showing everyone in the portal what we can do with, like, basically with the trumpet. So we'll find out that. But yeah, each group will have something that they want to teach us and something that we can help them as well. So it's just like a little school. That's how I feel like it's like a little learning school where we're all helping each other develop, like them as well, because
sounds like a bag of laughs actually.
Oh,
no one's ever been harmed, have they? No one's actually ever been.
Oh my God, no one's ever been harmed. I think the only time was when by accident was the table lifted up, and I think the little leg, it accidentally landed on my little toe, but only a little bit, and then it quickly shifted. But they're so delicate because sometimes what we've done is they'll do the table also is I'll have to get up off my chair and move right back, and the table, they'll lift it up because it always makes us laugh when they do it. And they lift the table up and it goes like as if it's walking. They go boom, 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 and it'll go right over the other side. And for some reason that we just go in hysterics because it's like the table's just walking. And sometimes the table will come right up to one of us, and it might go right up here like that. And then we go, oh, can you bring the table back? And then they'll do it very gently, and they'll do, So yeah, it's no one's ever harmed. Or anything like that. We've had our dogs come through as well.
Oh, you want to tell us about the dogs coming through?
Yeah, we've had this little. My mum had this because I can say my mum's in the circle with me, and we had this little what's he called? Pomeranian that died about 10 or 11 years ago, and he's called Jackie Boy Man. And he used to make this noise when we see him. He always made this like heavy breathing, yucky. I don't want to do it because I'll sound like an idiot. I'm not gonna start doing it. but he makes this really loud yakking noise, like he's struggling to breathe. And we all heard it, and I went, oh my God! I went, that's Jack. So I went, oh, Jack, do you want cheese? Do you want cheese, Jack? Because he'd go mental if you said cheese. And of course, he was making more yakking noises, getting excited. And then my mum was calling him, I was calling him, and I actually felt him underneath me. I felt his fur and everything. I was touching him. I was going, oh, Jack, and I could feel his excitement. Oh, it's amazing. I mean, I just can't believe like how I feel like we spiritually just like won the lottery. I feel so blessed every day. I never take any of it for granted because we just love it so much, Yeah.
What would you say to people who would say, there are people that are likely to say, oh, you shouldn't be doing that. It's the devil's work. What would you say to those people?
I would say to them, like,
apart from mind your own business.
Yeah. Oh no, I do fully understand where they're coming from. I would say, look, I totally understand what you're saying, because a group of people just getting up and doing a seance could end badly. I mean, you don't know what their thoughts are like. You don't know where they're mentally at. You don't know if they've got the connection with their guides to actually, you know, get a circle going, and what people they're with. So yeah, things can go bad. But when you're doing it in a way where you're connected divinely with that source, and you've got that bridge, like I said, that connection already done, and everything is on love, trust, the harmony is great, the frequency, everything is on that frequency of love, then no, nothing bad is happening to us. Where, you know, I mean, like, if it's been like 5 years, you know, I think we would know if it was going the wrong way, you know, and the guides wouldn't have let that happen anyway, because we all know our guides and we've got a good relationship with our guides. So yeah, it's
I think there are some people that think that I mean, there are those that say, and it's in the Bible, that the devil can come as an angel of light, so he can present himself as an angel and kid people and fool people. So I don't know that the devil would be that patient, actually, to wait 5 years or 10 years to bring all this love and then trick you at the last minute. It doesn't sound like.
Well, it's funny you said that, because also they want us to do rescue work, and we've done a little bit of rescue work. And they're always saying to us, well, not saying, but I mean, like through the oracle and things like that, we find out is that we have to be careful at all times, because we will be tricked at all times. And if we see a child, we've got to know, is that a child, or is that someone, is that a spirit masquerading as a child, like with bad intentions? So they teach us this as well. They teach us to be aware and know who we're dealing with, you know, to make sure, so that they want us to be ready for when we do more serious rescue work, that yes, actually that's not a sweet little girl in the corner, I know exactly what that is. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, yeah, there are things that do come in and they pretend to be things, but yeah, we know.
That's probably part of the training, though, isn't it? That your guides, the power to discern whether or not that is actually what you think it is, or whether or not it's something in disguise, and then the guides help with that, so that you're in no time under any threat of any kind.
Well, I've had a lot, to be honest, I've had a lot of experience with dark energies, like I said, when I was younger and I did Ouija boards, and I didn't realise it, because I mean, there were times when, I mean, it was really, really bad. I mean, it wasn't nice. But then I later found out that it was kind of all building up to the circle. It was like, it was a lesson I went through. I wanted to go through to learn about these darker entities, so that I know. So I've had the good, I've had the bad. I know between the good and the bad. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going into this naive, and you know.
Yeah. When you've had personal experience, that's where you learn to discern. Whereas if you've had no personal, you're just frightened all the time, because you never know. If you had to fight things off, then,
and you know, you can tell if it's bad. You can pick up that on the aura anyway, straight away. And that's so. Oh, sorry, there's just a little knock at the door. Might be a postman or something. Sorry.
That's okay. Can you tell us a little bit more about the rescue work, what that involves?
Yeah, I think that was just a bit of post. So I'm just laughing because you see my mum like a little road runner running past me, but yeah, so the rescue work, what we learned was that when we go to a place, say the spirit or whatever there that needs rescuing, they might not be able to see all of us. They might actually only be able to see one of us, like see one of our auras, and they might actually only be able to hear someone else. So
but where do they need rescuing from? Where are they?
It can be anything. I mean, it's usually spirits that have like, you know, like alcohol use, drug use, people that have died in a very confused state of mind, or that they've got grievances and they just don't want to cross over for whatever reason. Like everyone's passing over is different. Everyone gets offered to go into the light. You're not left out. You're not shunned, you know. But if some spirits, for whatever reasons they've had, they didn't go in, And we also found out as well, because I used to say, so why can't their loved ones just come down and say, you know, come along, come with me? But it's not that simple. They can't reach them either.
Because you can't force anyone, can you? There's never any force when you're talking about loving environments or anything like that. It's always gently, and things done with love. So you can't make somebody do it, because that's going against their will if you're trying to force them, isn't it? So they're not going to coerce them, I imagine.
Yeah, but once they managed to bring this this girl through, and we knew something was going on because it took a couple of weeks where they weren't doing much, and we had to find out what we knew it was to do with a rescue. And I don't know how they done it, but they managed to bring this girl or guide her somehow to the circle, and like lead her. I can't really understand how they done it, but we kind of had to help her come towards us. We sort of like got her to come towards us, and then we finally managed to do it one week, and we found her. We got her, but she could only see me for some reason. She could only see me, and my guide was saying, "Your light is, I mean, my aura is green, but for some reason at this time I had a blue light, and she could only see the blue light, and I was the blue light." But she couldn't hear my voice, and she couldn't hear anyone else's voice. All she could hear was my mum's voice. So my mum was telling her to come forward, and it was a very slow process. She was coming forward, and you know, all I knew was she had to do was she had to come to me. She'd go through to me, and then she would take her back into the porthole to go into the light. And I remember thinking, oh, like, will I feel like, what would it feel like, you know? And then when I felt her come forward, I felt her just come all of a sudden rush towards me, and the most like profound, like amazing moment of my life. It was just, I'd never felt such a, I think I was feeling her emotions, to be honest. So it's not that I was feeling it, I'm feeling what she was feeling, because I felt all those emotions. She was gone. But what amazed me the most was I felt a man's arm, hand and elbow, you know, like this, like he was doing that on my back, like getting the girl to bring her forward. And that I could feel that man's emotions as well, like it was like elation. So, and then afterwards I was like, well, why did I feel that, like that man's hand? And it was because that was one of her loved ones, and she'd gone through the light, she'd gone through, and then he
was ready to take her.
He took her in. It made me cry because it was just so,
it sounds beautiful.
It was so lovely. And I was just so made up. And they did bring her back about, I think maybe 5 or 6 weeks later, and she just wanted to say thank you to everyone, and that was lovely. It was but yeah, it was their feelings that I was feeling, like the elation and the love, and it was like, oh, you know, finally, like they've got her and she's over there. So
yeah, you couldn't make you couldn't make this stuff up, could you? You couldn't actually make that up.
No,
beautiful, touching experiences. And also it shows that you're still kind of progressing through your beingness even after you've left. You don't, you know, it's not the end when you leave here. You are still
always learning,
taking who you were with you, still developing, still growing, still learning. Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is amazing. I mean, yeah, I'll probably die and probably want to find a circle to work with. So. But you know, yeah, I don't fear death at all. It's brilliant. I mean, you know,
death is brilliant.
It's brilliant. It's
brilliant not to fear it, you mean?
yeah. It does. You do feel lighter in your life as you walk through your life. You feel lighter. You feel like it's like, yeah, you're just not weighed down by worries as much, because you know.
No. Because you know there's the loving presence of your God. You know it. You know, you're not questioning. You're not asking, you know, your mum or your husband and say, "Excuse me, do you think they love me?" You feel it. You know it. It's automatic, isn't it? So you're bound to feel more uplifted and sparkly and shiny in life. So that's really lovely. So if somebody wanted to go down that road, for example, if somebody wanted to develop their mediumship skills, or if they wanted to get into physical mediumship, what advice would you give them? What would you say to them?
Well, I mean, if they wanted to do physical mediumship, I would say, you know, as long as they're passionate about connecting with spirit, you know, they've got to be really passionate about it. It's if it's just like a whim and it's like, oh yeah, I'd like to do that, you know, but it's up to them. If it's something that they feel deeply about, then find a group of people that are exactly the same, like-minded, that are very, you know, with the same spiritual truths as you. I mean, we meet up twice a week. We used to do it once a week, but we meet up twice a week now. But yeah, as long as you meet up every week, even if it's once a week, and you just blend those energies together, you know, and you've got to have that trust as well, and the commitment. So you've got to have trust, the love, dedication, commitment, and the harmony will just balance everything out. And then, you know, over time, you will definitely get things coming, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it sounds like it's unlikely to happen on a whim. If somebody has, you know, just as you say,
yeah,
you know, just an idea, oh, I think I might like to try that. It sounds
yeah,
like it's unlikely to happen, but if there is that burning passion and desire,
yeah,
it
that burning
sounds like
passion,
there's
yeah,
probably going to be led to people that they can develop that trust and that bond with,
yeah,
and it will happen naturally at the right time for them, maybe.
yeah, yeah, definitely. And you know,
Yeah.
you will, it is hard because, you know, you're always going to get people that don't believe it, and I totally get them, because you have to see these things with your own eye. your own thing. My mum crawling behind me, it's just made me laugh. But yeah, you have to just
I'll put a bowl of biscuits down there for her next
yeah,
time.
yeah, dog bowl. But yeah, you know, you have to as long as you're really dedicated and committed, and you've got the right group of people that you're around, and as long as they feel exactly the same as you, that you all want the same thing, then you know you can do that, because that's all spirit want at the end of the day, is they want that love and they want that commitment from you. So, and then they'll give you just an abundance back once you put the time in. So yeah.
Okay, thank you for that. Okay, now you've got your own oracle deck that you developed yourself. Do you want to tell us how you did that? Why you did that?
Oh, I've got, yeah,
Why did, because there's hundreds, isn't there? There's like
yeah,
tarot. There's if not thousands of different kinds of tarot decks. I mean,
yeah.
you know, I don't know if anyone keep up with the amount of them. So what made you do? What made you actually produce your own ones?
So, well, I used to make, like, years and years ago, I used to just make them out of card. And I remember, like, I bought some black card, and I just wrote symbols on them with some gold pen. And they were just like some little, like, crappy things that I made. I didn't put anything into them. But whenever I used them, they would work so well. They would really, really, really work. And I would do people's readings with it. And it was always, oh, no, use them ones, you know, but they look like, you know, silly, but people loved them. But then I lost them, completely lost them. And I was like, I know, like, a couple of mates, well, where are your cards? I went, I don't know. They're completely gone. I don't know where they've gone. Can't find them. And then I thought, you know what? I mean, just do some paintings and then work with Soul. I knew Soul was working with me to get the messages that I wanted on them. So I thought I'd just create my own oracle deck. And so, yeah, so then it just, I think it took me about a couple of years, and just did that. But before that as well, another thing we would do is I bought like a gold, not a gold, sorry. I bought a little fish bowl, a little you know, glass fish bowl. And what I would do is get some paper and then just put loads of random words on it, like anything, anything you can think of, like, I don't know, frogs, straw, water, horse, it doesn't matter, whatever comes to your mind. It might even be song lyrics. We've got song lyrics in there. We've got anything that comes to your mind, and we all do it. I give everyone a bit of paper, and we write it out, and then I'll cut them all out, and then we roll them up into a little ball, and we chuck it into the oracle, which is the little fish bowl. And then before we do a session, round the circle, before we do a session, it gets physical, we always pick out the oracle first, and we pick about 5, and then we unravel it and we see what it tells us, and it always makes a little sentence. And then if it's something that the spirit team are really on at us, that they really want us to know, I'll say, is this making sense to me? Is this what you really are trying to convey to me? And then you'll get like a big firm bang to say yes. Or if I've got the reading wrong, it'll be two knocks, no, that's wrong, you got it wrong, like, you know, convey it again. But yeah, the oracle is good, and anyone can make an oracle. Oh, I'll just call it the oracle. But yeah, so I think it was just natural that I was going to end up making some oracle cards. But yeah, I mean, they're not. They are finished, but I just need to find a way of eventually, you know, I'll sell them eventually when I No, but I'm not in a rush to do them at the minute. I've got a couple of packs on me which I use at the circle, and we do readings with the spirit team and things like that. So yeah.
So just so the viewers can see your cards and how you work, if you'd like, would you like to do maybe a little 3-card reading or 1-card reading for me?
Yeah. All right, then I'll just put this one back. Right. Yeah. What I'll do is, this is what we do with the spirit team. We'll be shuffling the cards, and then we'll say, look, stop when you want, just knock when you want us to stop, and then they'll just go tap, and then we like, right, lay out the reading. So yeah. Oh. Oops, a second. Right, I'm just trying to just do it for a little bit, just to get the energy, you know, because they've had all my energy on them. Right, so when you're ready, just say to me, Terri, stop, and then, or whatever, and then I'll stop.
Okay. Okay, stop.
Right, okay. Oh wow, it's really good actually. Got the first one is ladybug card. This packet is a test packet, because the writing didn't come out clearly, so you have to ignore, you won't be able to see them that clearly. It's a test packet.
That's fine, I can see it's a ladybird anyway.
But yeah, so this one is all about getting what you want. You know, you're there, like everything's coming around to you, like the little petals coming around, everything's forming. I would say it's really going really well for you. And again, you've got the unicorn card that's coming. Ooh. So I feel like that's you as well. I can feel like, you know, like the little unicorn bit that's branching out to other people, and it's like it's bringing in, you know, the madness, like me. And then you got the camel one as well. So this is a camel card, and this is about just saying that you've got the endurance to see it through. You know, you've got everything you need to go the full hog and do what you want to do.
And I'm in the desert.
Yeah, and you're in the desert. Yeah.
That sounds lovely. That's really nice. Thank you. That's uplifting. That's made me feel good. Thank you.
Oh, good. Yeah, no, that's really good free cards to get actually. So yeah, you can't go wrong with them free cards.
Oh, thank you. I'll remember those. Well, when I watch the playback, I'll be remembering as well. There was one little thing that we didn't talk about, which I think would be nice for people just before we finish to hear about, because we always read about animal guides, spirit guides that are animals. We read about them, but I haven't known them to come through. Have you had much come through in your circle? The spirit guide, animal spirit guide?
So what it was years ago, like I said, when I was doing Ouija boards and things like that back in my teenage years, I think I did attract some dark entities at that time. And I remember once I was laying in bed, and I knew this dark entity kept coming towards me all the time. It kept coming towards me, and I would feel, you'd feel it. You could feel, you can feel when it is a negative energy. And I remember one night I just had enough. I was so tired, and I was thinking, please just go. And I heard this growling from behind me, but I weren't scared of it because it was coming from behind me, and it was growling at whatever was coming towards me. And I thought, I knew that was the wolf. I was like, oh my God, that's the wolf, you know. And so yeah, this is a bit that's going to sound really, really crazy. So like, if your listeners are listening, you know, it's up to you what you think, but I'm telling you the truth, because it's going to sound weird, but because they want us to go down the road and do rescue work, they obviously wanted us all to be connected with our spirit animals, because in order to do rescue work, you need to have that connection, not only with the guides, but with your spirit animal. And I know the wolf will only come in when there's a bad entity. So that's with the circle. Like, they always tell us, if you see your animals or whatever, then you know that something is gone on, and we need to shut the circle down, and that's that, you know. Yeah, so to be protected. But what they wanted to do is they wanted to give us one session where they was actually going to bring the animals through for us just to actually like interact with. And it was amazing. One of the people, I won't say their name, but they got a bear, and it was this huge big scrape. And it's really weird because it was such a big scrape on the table, right, which was the bear's claw, that you would have thought that the table would have been completely and utterly destroyed. It was such a big scrape, but there was nothing there at all, and that was just a bear. And then there's three others, the other three of us, we've got wolves, and we could hear them actually walking around the table with their really like deep breathing, like coming, you could hear the breathing noises coming from the wolves' noses and nostrils, and then they started weaving between our legs, and we was going all like that and touching them and stroking them. One of them put their paw like that on the table like that, and it was just for us to get more familiar with them. So yeah, I mean, if people have got a thing about thinking, oh, I don't know about spirit animals, you know, from my truth now is 100% they are around. So if you meditate and call on your spirit animals, they will definitely find a way of coming and letting you know who they are. So yeah, that was a really amazing experience as well. And we've had lights as well that we've seen. Another time that was really strange was you know, like, I don't know if anyone's played The Sims, like you get this green triangle light, like no, not triangle,
above their head.
Yeah, above their heads.
Yeah.
And we was all sitting there once, and all of a sudden we spotted this like diamond shaped bright green. It was very, very bright green above someone's head. We was going, oh my God. And the person who it was going, what? I can't see it. And then all of a sudden it moved round to each of our heads, and it was like, but yeah, it was just like a diamond, like bright green. It just went round each of our heads. So I think some groups were showing light and light animals. I won't say that word. I can't say it. The light things. I can't say it. I was going to say. No, I won't say it. I can't say it. Yeah.
So the little green lights going around, and then
yeah. So
they're just floating about. It was in the
about air. They were diamond shaped, and they were just sitting above our heads. Yeah. Like a little diamond, and then it would just go round to each of our heads, and that. And we've had Indian blessings as well. Because we have a group that comes through that they're Native Americans, and they usually come to us when we need to be cleansed and things like that. And there was one man, and he was doing stuff on the table. I can't remember now, but there was a lot of things going on. They were picking up things and touching us and stuff like that. And I said to him, I went, I bet you must have really long hair. I know Soul's got really long black hair. And he went, yeah, you know, on the table. And I said, oh, please put your hair over my head. And then all of a sudden I felt all this hair just come all down all over my face. Yeah, and it's amazing. I mean, there's so many things. I've had a little girl jump on my lap, and she kept flicking her hair like that, and the plait went into my mouth, and I kept going, oh, you keep getting your plait in my mouth, you know, I'll get all this hair in my mouth. But yeah, Rose has put her head down before like that, so we could all feel her head once, and so we could feel like what style of hair she had and things like that. And yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, I think what's really nice as well is that none of you seem like you need to convince anybody, because you know 100%. What you're experiencing and it's real.
Yeah.
You're not running to the newspapers or to TV and trying to prove anything. Yeah, you don't need to prove anything or to provide any evidence to anyone else. You're quietly kind of getting on with it as though that's your work. You know what you're meant to do. You're all doing it. You're all helping people in the best way that you can. And 100%. You know, no one needs to know about it. You're just doing it quietly.
You know, it's like as if someone come up to me and said, well, I don't believe you've got a dog. I'll be like, well, I know I've got a dog. You don't, you know, I don't really.
Don't need to.
It doesn't bother me.
You've got a dog.
Yeah, I mean, you know, so it don't bother me what people think. I know people are gonna, you know, because it is hard. I mean, some of the things that happen, it's hard for us to talk about because it does sound very, very strange, and it's like, what, you know, how can that just appear? How can they touch you? How can this happen? And things, you know, but it does. And you know, if I sound crazy talking about it, then I sound crazy.
Yeah, No, that's life, isn't it? I mean, you know, there are
Yeah,
people that do things that we might think, well, why are you doing that? That's a bit crazy, things where they're risking
yeah,
their lives or something like that. So we're all going about with our own ideas and opinions, and I think the
yeah.
variety is good. Variety is the spice of life, as they say. So
Yes, definitely,
fine
definitely.
for me. Yes. I'd like to thank you for taking this time and sharing your knowledge with us. If somebody wanted to get in contact with you to ask you questions, can they do that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind asking people questions if they've got anything they want to talk to me about or any
But
questions.
where
Yes, fine.
where should they do that? Have you got an email, or where can they contact you?
Um, yeah, I've got I mean, I've
So
got an
where would
email.
you like them to?
Um, I've got well, or I've got a Facebook group, the Wildling Soul Oracle. Um,
Okay.
or they could go on there to ask me things. I've got my cards and things on there. I suppose because my Facebook is a little bit more. It's not really a place where I'm like more like spiritual on there and things. But yeah, I mean, I'm fine for people to do that if
Okay.
they wanted to
Well, if you
ask.
let me have the details, I'll put them in the description so they can maybe
Yeah,
email you or something.
yeah,
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you
yeah.
very much for watching this channel. And if you like the content, please do like and subscribe and share. And please do say anything about the type of content, the questions, anything else that you want to know more about. Please do let us know. Thank you very much for watching. Bye for now.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.